Welcome here to the Ridealong channel on a pretty windy afternoon here in Vassiliki. People are planing, foilers are out, windsurfers are buzzing around, and I'm sort of marginally powered up on a 5.9 Spy and a 1.33 Carve. If I worked, I could get this board going. But I'm not trying to get the board going, I'm going through classic intermediate-y windsurfer problems. Although, to be honest, this problem is the same from beginner all the way to advanced. I find a lot of people, even an advanced windsurfer, still struggling with this. And that's how to get upwind efficiently and quickly. Now, if you know Vassiliki, where I'm sailing just now, I've just launched from outside Club Vass, and the aim is that by the end of this session, I will be all the way upwind in one tack, as I'm going to do one tack, so I suppose you could say it's two tacks, one out, one back, and I'm going to finish right the way upwind in the base, up at Ponty end of the village, up near the Surf Hotel and the Cosmos. Now, the way I'm doing that, and this is so key, and I know if you've been with this channel for a while, I might sound a little bit like a broken record saying it, but everyone misses it out, and that's your vision. Head, shoulders, your hips, and your front foot turning to look for the wind. If that doesn't happen, you can't see the gusts, the lulls, the waves, you can't see what's going on, you can't predict the future like a good windsurfer can, and you're just going to struggle in general. The amazing thing with it is when your vision is good, it does change everything else as well. It will sort out your stance, it will sort out your lower back pain, it will stop your hands hurting so much and your arms hurting so much. But you really got to turn your head, shoulders, hips and front foot to look upwind where that wind is coming from. Now I'm on a board, it's a 1.33 Carve, stable, fast, really nice freeride board. It doesn't have a centerboard. Now without a centerboard, the board is inclined to drift a little bit. I need to create some resistance and grip in the water. And the way I'm doing that is I've got my windward edge, the heel edge of the board, the side closest to the wind. I've got that slightly engaged in the water, like I'm trying to get my feet wet. That's often the way I think about this. Get your ankles wet. That's going to bite the water, grip the water, or the correct terminology is the lateral resistance, the sideways resistance of the board is now engaged, stopping me drift sideways and enabling me to sail upwind. My arms, you'll notice, are pretty much extended, and I'm not cheating in with the backhand as such. I'm gently adjusting the power control between the front hand and backhand and the harness line, which in turn is then cheating that sail in. Quite a fun little game. I like to think of it is maybe you remember being a kid when you used to joke that I've got one arm shorter than the other one, and you can move your shoulders ever so slightly to make one arm slightly shorter than the other. That's basically what I'm doing. It's coming from my shoulders and my upper back, I suppose, the 1 inch punch, little movement to make one hand or one arm slightly shorter than the other. That not only is helping me counterbalance the sail, but that's helping channel that power correctly without it just feeling like loads of power but not getting me anywhere. My stance is changing quite a bit. I'm not just locked in one position. There is an occasional slight drop of the stance, which allows me to use that extra bit of wind coming through and drive slightly closer to the wind. If the wind is a little bit lighter, I'm straightening up slightly more, almost creating a straight line from my shoulders, hips and my front foot. But then if the wind hits and I want to use it a bit, I might, just like now, drop slightly, and I was digging my heels to head upwind a little bit more. Let's go around a tack. See where we're going to make it in this direction. Now, as a little tactical thought for you too with this, is I'm not sailing super close to the wind. I'm not 45 degrees to the wind like you might see a no-go zone written at as the closest point of sail. I'm actually a little bit wider, but I'm nibbling and pinching and trying to work out how close to the wind I can go. It's kind of like I'm using my own momentum to drive me slightly into the wind, slightly too close, and then I'm driving a little bit more at the front foot to turn me away from the wind slightly. I'm not really trying to sail in a straight line. I am deliberately wiggling and pinching and fighting upwind. The biggest tips as I make my way back towards the beach that I've already gone through, and it is so important, is look up. Turn your head. Turn your shoulders to read the gusts, the lulls, the waves, and then you really know where that wind is coming from when you're looking for that dark patch coming towards you. Kind of think of it like an army of invisible animals are charging towards me across the water. I can see those micro little footprints coming towards me. That's the gust that I'm going to use to take me further upwind. I'm in a pretty good line here to finish as high upwind as I can do in this bay. There's now only 2 or 3 more people actually upwind of me in the bay. I've just done this in one run just to regain that ground that I've lost. And it's an option. Even if you can get in the foot straps, it's quite good practice just to, I sometimes call it, dog your way upwind. I've been dogging my way upwind just now, just to make sure you know you can. And then once you're upwind, you can have a little play and start to bear away a little bit more. A little bit too close to the wind there. I slowed right down. I can almost feel the sail backing itself. That's when the wind pushes on the wrong side. Now, once you really get the hang of this, you can then start planing much more efficiently as well. You don't actually have to go downwind to get planing, although that's a whole nother video that you'll find already on the channel and more coming soon. So I'm upwind right now, definitely close to the wind. Even as I start to accelerate here, I'm definitely not below a beam reach right now. The board has accelerated, and I'm definitely back upwind once again. And like I said, if you know the beach, this is the Surf Hotel powerboat lane that I'm just pulling into now. If you don't know the beach, don't worry, that's approximately 500 meters I've just gone upwind, including that little bearaway to get planing at the end just there. Just by doing what I mentioned through that video. Vision number 1, trim, getting that heel edge engaged into the water, and then playing with your counterbalance of the rig, the power and the stance all linked together to get you back upwind. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button down at the bottom. If you fancy joining me on a Patreon link, that would be fab as well. You'll find some bonus content amongst the Patreon channel. Or of course, if you're coming out here to Vassiliki, just like one of the guys I can see up ahead of us right now, drop me a message. I'll be quite happy to do some coaching with you while you're here in Vas. See you guys very soon. Okay.